Buenos dias indeed. Whew. Huevos rancheros. David, why didn't you think of this?
Because you hate huevos rancheros.
The people love them. This was a wonderful idea. Amelia, you're the perfect campaign manager. Did I tell you that the owner of this diner is an immigrant Latina? Yes, named Carlota Vega. She's a very close personal friend of mine. I practically raised her two sons.
Really? Because I see that Mrs. Vega is wearing Vicky's campaign button.
That would be because Carlota used to work for Dorian, and people who used to work for Dorian tend to have issues with Dorian. Oh, be careful. You're salivating on yourself.
Oh, I can't help it. Oh, I just love seeing Vicky's campaign self-destruct.
Poor Vicky.
Poor Vicky. Her daughter had you hog-tied in the stables trying to prove that Jared was the true Buchanan heir. They practically stole your birthright from you.
True. But like my pa, Bo Buchanan, I found that I have compassion in my heart.
David, the Buchanans have made you into a mush brain. And that is why I had to replace you as my campaign manager. You have no loyalty.
I have no loyalty?
Absolutely not. I gave you your chance to play gay. You refused to, even though it would help me. Well, that's not my fault, is it? I needed a high-profile homosexual in my campaign, and here she comes.
Good news. You're up in the polls.
Right again.
Come on.
Rest my case.
Let's rock your Latino vote.
Ole. Yo soy Dorian Lord. Yo espero será la próxima alcalde de nuestra bella ciudad. I think I got that right. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And for the Anglophones, of course, I'm Dorian Lord, and I hope to be the next mayor of our fair city. Thank you again. By the way, did anybody here see the front page of today's Sun? Yes, although our hearts do go out to Vicky Banks and her family yet again. It raises the question, is this really what our city needs? Another scandal after Mayor Lowell, who has been indicted and is now in prison? I think this calls for a clean sweep. Thank you again. Thank you, really. In that light, I would like to introduce you to my new campaign manager, Ms. Amelia Bennett, who is an out and proud lesbian, and she will be walking among you, available to take your questions and your concerns so that we can act upon them.
Thank you all. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Not bad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very much. So, yeah, there's Jared turning over a new leaf. He's always been after the Buchanan millions. And now he's got blood on his hands.
Yeah, just like you. Nash Brennan and all that nastiness with the shareholders meeting.
Again, David?
If the shoe fits.
I just took over Buchanan Enterprise. Jared is the one who pushed Nash into that skylight. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Natalie were next. Oh, yeah. Jared's probably taken out an insurance policy on her for millions, and then there's her inheritance. That girl better watch her back. I have always loved children. I have two daughters of my own, Cassie and Adriana. Adriana's father was Latino, yes. And then recently, I adopted a lovely young woman whose mother was Colombian. Unfortunately, both her parents were killed when they were doing humanitarian work in Vietnam. But our house has...
I've got Dorian Lord eating out of the palm of my hand. Not long. I shall be able to put part 2 of my plan into action as soon as I hang up the phone.
She just had a baby. So I'm
David.
helping her as well.
Did you know that I was the star of the Supermodel Crime Club?
I don't watch that much TV.
I played a really smart detective who was smart. So why don't you save us both some time and tell me who you were talking to on the telephone and what part 2 of your plan is?
I was speaking to a colleague. He ran the mayor race in Pittsburgh.
He? I thought you were from Lesbania, if you know what I mean.
He happens to be a friend.
And part 2?
Is where we capitalize on Vicky Banks' drop in the polls and organize a press conference and host a caucus of liberal organizations at Dorian's home. Does that sound like a part 2 to you?
Sure that same-sex partnerships are the last thing on Vicky's mind right now, so I want to make that issue my own. When should we do this?
Today?
Carpe diem. David, would you notify the staff and alert them? Oh, make sure that we have plenty of rainbow flags.
And I will call the Alliance and set up the press conference.
Would you also call some of your gay friends? And I want to make sure everybody knows I'm just as liberal as Vicky is.
Count on it.
I don't... Oh, fabulous! What a great idea. Deciuno with the people.
You memorize a little Spanish. You think they'll vote for you?
Oh, they'll vote for me. And after today's press conference, I'm going to steal the entire liberal vote away from Vicky.
If you have a press conference.
Of course I will. Amelia's arranging it now.
Amelia is arranging something. What? I don't know.
Hey, you. How's it going?
Perfectly. I told you we'd be starting part 2 soon.
What's soon?
This afternoon. Dorian is hosting a press conference at La Boulette.
That's fast. Does she have any idea what we're planning?
Not a clue.